Venom, Let There Be Carnage is directed by Andy Serkis and stars Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson. And in this film, we once again follow Eddie Brock, aka Venom, who's really been struggling with being Venom for over a year now. And he is also trying to up his journalism game by interviewing Cletus Cassidy, who is a serial killer and eventually becomes Carnage, a villain we've all been excited to see on the big screen for a very long time. So I was a little weary about this movie when I heard that Andy Serkis was going to be directing it. He's a fantastic motion capture actor. I was obsessed with the Planet of the Apes trilogy. But as a director, he really doesn't do it for me. He did Mowgli, the Jungle Book movie a few years ago on Netflix, which was god-awful. And the CGI in that film looks like a $5 Walmart bin movie. It's just hard to look at. I actually did not mind the first Venom movie. I don't think it's amazing, but I also don't think it was as bad as everybody made it out to be. Something about it gave me a Nintendo 64 vibe, if that makes any logical sense whatsoever. It probably does not. But I had lowered my expectations going into that movie, so it was just okay for me. It was like fast food fun. But with this movie, my expectations are a smidge higher just because we finally get to see Carnage tear shit up. So is this movie a step in the right direction? It is and it isn't, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Starting with the pros, Carnage. Carnage is incredible in this movie. So if you came to see Carnage, there is a ton of it. He looks great. All the scenes with him are really fun and they're just a blast to watch. And the climax is such a good time. Just seeing Venom and Carnage beat the living shit out of each other is a ton of fun. Their character designs are so nice to look at. It's just a pleasure watching them just beat the living shit out of each other. And I also really did like the relationship between Eddie and Venom. I understand that it is very annoying. For the most part, their banter gets really irritating, but I do like that you see that they desperately need one another, and I like how they kind of portray that in this movie, that you actually see why Venom needs Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock, and why Eddie Brock needs Venom as well. So that was really well done. And my hat goes off to Tom Hardy. He is playing two completely different characters at once. He does an incredible job in this movie, and I just love freaking Tom Hardy. He totally killed it as Venom and Eddie Brock. And now on to the cons. The first half of this movie really dragged for me. It just took so long to get to the point where it needed to get to, and there was no surprises. It was all pretty predictable in which direction this movie was headed, so it really slowed down the movie and almost made it a little boring with the exception of a scene or two. So I think the short runtime of an hour and a half really benefited this movie, but it really took a long time to get to some exciting scenes. Oh, and the dialogue is really bad and really cheesy. The actors in this movie are really good, but I just feel like they were pinned up against the wall with this horrible dialogue that they were fed. And hey, I love Woody Harrelson. I think he's a phenomenal actor, but his Cletus Cassidy just did not do it for me. And I also felt like this movie was really outdated. This really felt like an early 2000s, late 90s movie, and that is not a positive. There are great movies in those eras, but this movie just feels really outdated. And when you watch the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't do spoilers on my channel, and I never will unless I specifically say I'm going to. Yes, there is an awesome mid-credit scene. I'm not going to say what it is. But the interesting thing about the mid-credit scene is it does a really good job of hooking you. I didn't really care for this movie, and I overall didn't really like it. But that mid-credit scene, whether you like this movie or not, will really entice you to watch the next entry in the series. Overall, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, from me, gets a C-. Now I wonder what you guys think. Did you guys like Venom, Let There Be Carnage? And are you excited for what the future holds for this series? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as I mentioned before, I am currently doing my Horrorween special where I'm going to be covering all the must-see movies and TV specials you need to be watching during the month of October, so stay tuned for that. As always, make sure to smash the crap out of that like, subscribe, and notification button if you want to see more movie reviews. Have your tickets ready. I'll see you guys at the next movie.